They want me to change, but I ain't changing. Nah, I remain the same.
And you are now tuned into another episode of Intellectually Petty Radio, brought to you in concert with A Beautiful Machine magazine, as well as the mighty Nerd DJs Radio Network. You already know, man, week after week, month after month, year after year, we only rock with legends around here. And today is absolutely no exception. We have Detroit's best financial planner, the smartest motherfucker since 1 and 2 were created. We have Clift, Roach, the money coach, joining the conversation. How you doing, Kane?
What up, though? I'm blessed, man. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Oh, no doubt, man. It's an honor, man. How's your family?
Everybody's blessed, man. Couldn't be more grateful. Thank you for asking, man. Appreciate it. What about you? How's your people doing?
Everybody's good, man. I got no complaints, you know. I got a couple, man, but nobody gives a shit, really.
Fair enough.
Yo, so were you that guy in the 3rd grade selling candy?
Nope. Actually, I was playing ball, man. I was hooping, playing baseball. I wasn't the kid who was the entrepreneur at 9, 10 years old. That wasn't me.
What changed?
Seeing a path in my family and a repeat cycle that I didn't want to repeat myself when I had kids. Mm-hmm. Seeing that relying on a job or a 9 to 5 as your sole way to get by and just taking that check and paying bills and doing it all over again wasn't going to work well for me. I don't think I was ever a really good student, simply because I felt like those structures weren't setting me up for what I needed to be doing. And I was probably never a really, really good 9 to 5 employee either. And those things kind of go hand in hand, because I always felt like I had too much talent and ambition to do things my own way. Okay. And so that's really been a highlight in the last almost year or so, now that I've been running this entrepreneurial train like 100% on my own. But I think what changed, man, is just me seeing that there's a way to really set up trajectory for my family for generations by me taking risk and betting on myself, and not relying on, the consistent check of the man. So that's really what's motivated me to step out the box and do what I've been doing.
Is there a teacher out there that may or may not know how much of an influence they had on you?
Positively or negatively?
Both.
My 8th grade teacher, believe it or not, I was in the 8th grade before the first time I had a male in the classroom outside of a gym teacher or a coach. Okay. So a gentleman by the name of Dan Turbrak, he actually ended up being the mayor of the city of Berkeley. And then life came full circle. Him and I ended up working together, both as licensed financial advisors for the same firm for a quick minute. But he was my 8th grade teacher, and he was the first time I saw a male in a classroom. So he was a positive influence simply because, obviously I had my father at home, but, he got mom, sister, aunt, grandma at home. And at school, it's all women teachers for me from preschool all the way through 8th grade. So he was the first time I saw a man in a suit and tie in a classroom teaching, right? Okay. And he wasn't just talking about shoot the ball or run the bases. So that was pivotal for me at 8th grade. And then, outside of that, I had a professor in college, Dr. Clark. He was the meanest guy I've ever come up across in the classroom. He was legendary on the campus of Saginaw Valley for scaring business students. And I was one of the scary ones when I first got in this class. But I had to take him twice for my marketing major. And hindsight's 2020. Dr. Clark did not teach out of the textbook. We didn't go over corny definitions. He made us do real world application and develop marketing plans from scratch and work on them all semester. And he's probably one of the only teachers that I can say, as a 31-year-old adult, like the stuff he had us doing is applicable to this day. So those were two really, positive influences for me in the classroom.
That's interesting, though. So the second guy, the college guy, even though being the asshole,
he was a jerk. He was so bad. He was so bad that.
Was he a jerk, or was he preparing you for the assholes in the future?
No, he was overboard. This how bad he was, and I love Dr. Clark. This how bad he was. He was a tenure professor, so that you're supposed to not be able to get fired as a tenure professor. He was so bad that they still found a way to force him into early retirement, even though he was tenure, because he would cuss the students out like there was no tomorrow.
Really?
I mean, every word you could think of in the book, he would string them together in a sentence to insult a student.
Okay, so going back, you said that you didn't want us to repeat the same mistakes of your family financially. At what point do you realize, okay, they're doing something wrong and I think I can fix it for myself?
It was 2 turning points. The first one came when I was in 10th grade. I had never in my life seen my dad home from work earlier than 6 p.m. He was a 9 to 5 guy, suit and tie all day. He's punching the clock. We were the last to get picked up from Latchkey because his job required him to drive around the state of Michigan. So sometimes he'd be flying from Port Huron to pick us up from school in Detroit or Berkeley, whatever. And one day I come home from high school. It's around 3 o'clock. And he was home. And as soon as I saw his car in the driveway, my boy dropped me off. As soon as I saw his car in the driveway, I was immediately confused because I'm like, I've never seen him home on a weekday prior to 6 p.m. So I knew immediately something was wrong. I walk in the house. He's sitting on the couch in the back room, lights off, TV off, which is very unlike him. If he was on that couch, he was watching BET or sports, right? TV off, no music playing, no radio. He has on his undershirt and his dress pants and his socks, and he's just staring at the wall. And I'm like, what's going on? Damn. And he looked me in my eyes and he said, son, I lost my job today, but we roaches, so we're going to be all right. I just said, okay, turned and walked away. He hasn't had a real full-time job since I was 15 years old. That was 15, 16 years ago. And we, as a family, weren't prepared financially for that. Prior to, my mom had been working at the plant for UAW, and we know what happened to those jobs around 05, 06, 07, right? So my parents called him Marvin, right? Between anybody who's been on unemployment understands what that looks like. Between Marvin and food stamps from our cousins and them, that's what was keeping us afloat. And so that moment was pivotal for me because I'm 15, and that's that age when boys are like, coming into that masculine energy, and okay, so where do I channel this? So at the time I'm playing 3 sports, but my grades are slipping. Right. And I'm at U of D Jesuit High School, which is very academically rigorous. They don't play that. So
and expensive.
Right. So that too, on top of us having no income. Right. And my sister's at Florida A&M at the time. So 2 private school tuitions, no jobs. So I'm like, okay, I'm 15. I don't have a car. I don't know that I can really go get a job to help out financially. But what I can do is focus on what's right in front of me. And at that moment, that was cut back on some sports and focus on getting my grades up. Because I was BSing. I was worrying about the sports. I wasn't getting my grades where they needed to be. So I dropped a few sports, focused on track primarily.
And this is your doing as a teenager.
All me. Nobody told me to do this. But I saw what was happening, and I'm just like, what can I start doing right now so that like this doesn't have to be my narrative when I have children? Okay. So I'm like, all I know that I can do is get good grades and stay in school and hopefully get a career and figure it out from there. I don't really have the answer. So I just went with what I thought was the best answer at 15. Nobody told me to do this, but that was a decision I made. So I pulled back from sports, focused down on my books, got my grades up, graduated with a decent GPA, got through college. Should have did that for free playing sports, but I was so pressed on just getting a degree and getting out of there. I'm like, I don't even care about trying to use my body for athletics to cover tuition. I'm just going to get my grades good and get out of there. Graduated 4 years with a marketing degree. And then just 2 weeks after I walked across the stage of college graduation, I started work full time and was working the job, got into finance, blah, blah, blah. But that was the first pivotal point, man, when I came home and saw my pops looking defeated, talking about he ain't got a job. And I'm like, okay.
Have you ever, like, since you become a man and kind of way more, aware of the totality of that, have you talked about that day?
Nope. Never.
Yo, okay, so you graduate 2 weeks, you working, life is good, you got your own crib, you got a car, you got food in the fridge. Do you feel responsible to kick in monetarily for them, or are you able to just kind of like pivot?
Right now?
No, back then.
Or you mean back then? No. At the time, I wasn't thinking it was my responsibility financially. I just knew that what I could do was be a good student.
Okay.
Right. So I'm like, let me at least focus on that. I wasn't thinking about getting a job or working or making money, but I'm like, at a minimum, I can get good grades and not get kicked out of this school that they've worked so hard to put me in. Right. So I look at a lot of the sacrifice my parents made, and I think about it as them gambling or making, I don't want to say gamble, that's the wrong word. I look at it as them investing in me because they might not have had the resources or the information to invest in themselves the way that they may have wanted to. Right. So I look at it as I'm the,
do you
like,
have kids?
I'm the bet. I don't. Nope.
Okay, I see it now. And I hate to cut you off. The only reason I asked that is because, like, as a parent, it's your job completely to make sure your child is in a better position than you.
And I believe I am.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Sounds, and it sounds like you learned the lessons that were shown as opposed to taught.
Correct.
So okay, so, and I'm sorry to cut you off. Okay, so after you start working, you're in marketing. At what point do you say, okay, you know what, I'm really good at this shit?
Well, I started my career in financial planning. It's late 2019, so I'm 24 years old at the time. When I'm actually working full time, because in school, like, marketing was my major, but it's just whatever. We're just going through the motions. We mostly studying business stuff. I didn't get a lot of real world application of marketing aside from that one class. So when I really got to play my cards in it was, like I said, late 2019 when I started my financial planning practice. I'm 24 at the time. Right around the corner was the COVID pandemic, right? The shutdown, early 2020, and I'm brand new in a game where I only eat what I kill, right?
Yeah.
So I'm living I moved out my parents' house at this time. I'm living in a 1-bedroom apartment. I have rent, I have DTE, phone bill, car note, car insurance, but I jumped into an industry with no base pay, no salary. I only make money if I close a deal.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm living off of all savings from my first job, and I have no income yet, but I have all these bills overnight. So I had no choice but to figure out how to make the business work for me. But then the world shut down. So I can't go to my office and go lean on my mentors or senior advisors for advice because we're all at home.
Yeah. So
I had to figure it out, man. So leverage social media. And that's really when I got comfortable with making videos, cold calling people, having long form conversation and meetings over the phone. So I had to get really crafty at positioning and marketing myself and my service and getting referrals from my friends and family in order to build out this financial planning practice brick by brick, because it was all done on an introductory basis. So that's really how I started, man. 10,000 reps of that outreach, posting videos, sending messages, and just trying to build up a presence of someone who could position themselves as a financial expert and help people ultimately accomplish generational wealth.
I was looking at, I don't remember the cat's name, but it was an interview you did, and y'all niggas had on suits, like on Zoom. I was like, man, why? Like, is that really the business world? Like, you got to dress up to sit in front of your computer.
It was so much tie up to my neck, sitting in the living room in front of a computer. God. But yeah, man, that was the life. And it's funny enough, I changed for this. I had on a button up and dress pants. I'm like, let me take this button up off. What do I do?
Glad you did.
Yeah. Because I was running, doing business meetings all day, so I literally was dressed up today. But I'm like, let me relax a little bit. But yeah, man. So that was life for sure. That was life.
So what was the best thing about you business-wise during COVID?
The best thing for me or
for you, rather?
Crazy enough, I think the fact that everybody was forced to stay inside helped me, because prior to the pandemic, when we were trying to do meetings, we were trying to meet everybody in person.
Yeah.
Right. As much as we could. So that means either I got to drive to you, you got to drive to me, logistics, people caught in traffic, meetings running late. So it was easy for your schedule to get delayed or to get a lot of cancellations or no shows. When the pandemic happened, everybody's in the crib. So it would be a lot easier for me to hold 10 meetings in a day.
Yeah.
Because nobody's trying to drive around town. Nobody's running late as much because all you had to do was pick up the phone or just click on the computer. So it actually allowed me to 3x the amount of meetings I could have in a week because everybody was stationary. So that isolation and forcing people to stay inside actually helped in terms of me keeping a lot of meetings. And then as crazy as this sounds too, boss, I mean, the pandemic, everybody was worried about their health.
Yeah.
Right. And
Absolutely.
a lot of the ways we made money in the insurance game was through life insurance policies, right? Selling life insurance policies. So when I said things like, hey, God forbid, you're to pass away, at this age or at this time, right?
What does that look like for your family? Get some insurance, bro.
Right. And at that time, everybody like, well, shoot, I know somebody who just kicked the can. How much that costs? Yeah, let's get that rolling. Yeah. Right. So oddly enough, that timing for me, being 2-3 months into my career when that happened, it was easy leverage because, again, you got to think, I'm 24, I'm 25. So I'm talking to people that are 24, 25. How many 24 or 25-year-olds do you know that are thinking about life insurance planning?
Well, I don't know.
None.
I'm an old fat nigga, so I don't know too many 24 or 25-year-olds in general.
Yeah. Okay, when you were that age, right? Were you and your friends thinking about it? Right? Especially if you're not married, you don't have a house, you don't have children. And that was the narrative for most of the people I knew. But me being able to say, well, look, your health is unpredictable. If we lock this in now, you don't have to worry about it later. That could resonate at that time because they're like, well, dang, I do know somebody my age who's sick right now because of this. So you make a good point. Let's go ahead and do it. Right. So that helped me secure a lot of families right early on. And then, like I said, through me developing the skill of getting introduced to folks and getting referrals and me leveraging social media and just skyrocketed from there.
Although I don't think that Black folks in particular, myself included, are as hip as we need to be as far as how you can make money off of life insurance.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all hip to it. But it's something that people have been doing for generations.
In a nutshell, for the slow people like myself, explain how that works.
So when people are talking specifically about like making money or getting money out of their life insurance policies, what they're referring to is one of several different types of what's called permanent life insurance. Okay, so think about permanent life insurance as like an umbrella, and then there's a few different types underneath that realm. Okay. Gotcha. The most straightforward, simple one that's the oldest one in the book is called whole life. And that means exactly what it sounds like. If you get that policy, it lasts for your whole entire life. So whatever age it is that you pass away, that's when a policy pays out. Okay. But what happens is every time you make a payment into the policy, the insurance company takes some of that money and they make some really safe investments with it. Your money, as well as everybody else who has a policy with that company, right? So they put all this money into one bucket. They make safe investments. When those safe investments make a little bit 20-25% return, the insurance company shares a portion of that back with you on top of your policy. So if you're paying it for 30 years, that extra money that they're sharing with you is going on top of your policy value every single year, as long as you live. So if you start something like this at 30 and you look up in your retirement age, you're 60 years old, you've been paying this for 30 years, your policy might be 2.5-3 times the value, right? Like literally the benefit amount has grown. Okay. But there's a portion of that money that you're able to borrow from that policy. You can borrow it, you can loan it. There's a ton of different ways you could do it, but essentially you can take out some of that increased value over the years and you can spend that money on whatever you want to.
I mean, you say you can loan it?
Yeah. Yep. So
you get to determine the rate though, or is there?
You don't get to determine the rate. They determine the preset rate. But yeah, you can take the money out and just pay it back over time. But there's no schedule on it, so you pay it back whenever you feel like. But here's the kicker: if you don't ever pay it back, they just take whatever amount that you didn't pay back and they subtract it from the benefit amount on your policy. So let's say, for example, you're 60.
You did anyway. What difference would it make?
Exactly. So let's say you're 60 and the policy is set at that point to pay out $500,000. Okay. But you borrow $20,000 a couple years ago and you never paid that 20,000 back. Whenever you pass away, they're going to subtract that 20 plus the interest from the $500,000 amount, and then the remainder pays out. That's if you never pay it back.
They can still bury you.
Yep.
And have a couple of dollars.
Absolutely.
Best decision you've made financially thus far?
Investing in the stock market.
Is that just a gut feeling thing, or are you researching like trends?
Definitely not a gut feeling thing. Definitely not a gut feeling thing. A lot of research, a lot of homework, right? So in my career working with firms as a financial advisor, I was licensed, right? So I was licensed to sell stock to clients, right? Companies, institutions. So a lot of studying, a lot of long hours have gone into me researching the proper way to approach stock market investing. So my level of understanding and also my level of risk is a lot higher than the average person. Because anything that anybody spends all their hours doing, they're going to be better at the next person. Right? So no, definitely is not a gut feeling. A lot of mindset coaching and development required as well, because there's no such thing as knowing all the right companies to pick all the time. But that's not the key to investing. The key to investing is not picking the right company. The key to investing is patience, for one, and two, having the mental capacity to understand sometimes the values will fluctuate, but if you're investing for the right purposes, that fluctuation doesn't matter. Most people don't get that part, so they just jump in assuming that their account should never go backwards, and when it does, they're like, this is a bad thing, let me stop doing it. But developing that mindset is a muscle that you have to exercise, and it may take years for it to get strong, but definitely not a gut feeling, something that's been trained and worked on and nurtured for quite some time.
I mean, everybody's got to have a loss threshold, though.
Absolutely.
Right.
Some people are a little more psycho than others, though.
Yeah. I'm not the most patient motherfucker on the planet. Okay, so I give you $10 million, and you need to pick a financial planner. Is there somebody out there in the business world that you look at and say, that's the person I would let plan my shit?
I know some guys personally, yeah. I got some buddies who are in the game that I would trust with my life savings.
Really? That's some shit. I don't know if I would trust anybody with like everything.
Fair enough. I mean, but these are guys that have, poured into me, right, and helped me develop. And when I say, I've spent hours studying, that doesn't just mean me reading books or watching videos on my own. It also means me learning from those who've been doing it longer and better than me. So yeah, there's some guys that I know. I could call them right now and be like, fellas, I hit it big. I got 10 million right now. Take care of it. And they'd be like, let's get on Zoom. I got you, brother.
What are you the worst at?
What context are we talking?
That's up to you, bro.
Make sure I don't incriminate myself on here.
Yeah, but don't do that. I don't want nobody dealing me over some shit you just said, bro. I can fuck up on my own.
No, man. As of late, I haven't been too good at texting back in a timely manner, but I'm trying to get better at that. I'm bad at responding to emails. That's tough, and I need to fix that.
We get too many fucking emails nowadays.
There's too many. Like when I click Gmail, it says 41,000. I'm immediately overwhelmed. How do you think I'm gonna keep up with that?
And I'm deleting shit every day. Yeah. And they're not, they made it so you can quote unquote unsubscribe, but the procedure to unsubscribe is worse than just deleting the shit every day.
No, seriously.
Oh my God. Okay, so here's a question I ask everybody that comes on the show. Has absolutely nothing to do with nothing, but here goes. You're sitting on a park bench and God sits down next to you, and he or she says you can ask them one question. What would it be?
I'd probably say why me.
In what
And
context?
yeah, like maybe this is just my perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But even through what most people would consider L's in life, I look at them all as blessings,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I just think it was supposed to go that way for something better to take place. So I think my question would just be like, of all the people you've put on this earth, like, why me to be so blessed with all the opportunities, the skill, the capability, right? Why me? Because I feel like there's a lot of things that I have done, things that I'm working on, and things that I have not accomplished that I don't even know are meant for me yet, that are simply a part of God's plan, but they're at a very large scale. They're at a magnitude, and they require me to be an influencer, a role model, a leader, a voice for so many people.
Mm.
And knowing that I grew up as a kid who always considered myself a shy introvert, what I'm doing now is the opposite of all of that. So it would just be like, why me? Like, what is it in me that you say, hey, you're the one to lead this particular path that I put you on? Because if I would have had to choose my route at 17, 18 years old, I would have been like, give me something where I can make a lot of money, but I can just keep to myself and be quiet and never take a picture or get on camera or meet people or be seen in public. And that's the opposite of the route that he's put me on. So why me to be a public figure? Why me to be a leader, a communicator, an organizer, etc.? So that's what I would ask.
Is that an unfair responsibility sometimes?
I don't think so. Because I also believe he wouldn't give me anything I couldn't handle.
The odd thing is, like, I don't really like people.
I don't either.
Like this shit, like, and people be like, oh, you gotta do things in person. This works for me. I like being in my basement. I don't like people near me. I don't have to like fake conversations. Just really piss me off. Like, I don't like that shit.
Yeah.
Like, first off, let me ask you this. Totally unrelated, but am I required to say good morning back if somebody says good morning to me and I don't think it's a good morning?
I mean, it's common courtesy, but I don't. Who makes the rules on that, right? So
Why do I need to be courteous to you?
Hey man, I guess you can respond however you want to. I never thought about it like that. There's definitely been times where I had to fake the energy. Like, I don't want to say this back, but I'm doing it just because.
Oh my God.
You got me reconsidering that now.
And you know what? I've been at my job a few years now, so they know I'm an asshole. So it's okay if I say, it's a fucked up morning. Like, what do you, and I literally would tell people because sometimes it is. Sometimes it's just not a good day.
Fair enough.
So the financial plan for you, is it more important? Is the hustle more important or the money acquired from the hustle?
Well, I don't think the hustle will ever stop. So I think the hustle is more important.
Because even in the streets, like the dudes that are really successful in the streets, depending on how you judge success, but monetarily, they are way more addicted to the hustle than whatever product they're selling. And that's the part that I think transfers into any business.
I agree. I think some things might just be part of masculine nature. We just want to hunt and gather. And even as we gather and stack, it's still fun to hunt,
It's just never enough.
It's never enough. So I don't think there's ever enough money either, but I think money isn't about a number in your account. Money is about the peace of mind that it can buy. It's about the time, the opportunity, the flexibility and options that it can give you. Of course, God giving you still have your health, because that's most important, is having health and time ahead of you. But money just allows you to have, again, flexibility, choices, and options in that time. But I think the hustle, and depending on, what people's definition of hustle is, for me, is just me continuing the work that I'm doing, right? But for me, the hustle is where the impact is. Like the money will have an impact at some point when I'm, pouring back in from my foundation, and it's hundreds of millions of dollars in that fund, and I can send kids to college for free, right? So the money becomes a thing at some point, but in the interim, the hustle is the impact that I'm having right now, right? And that's bigger than the money, because I think there's a lot of hustle before there's a lot of hustle and impact before the money catches up to what amount of impact you've made, if that makes sense, right? Like, I think I will have made, I will have impacted and influenced so many tens of thousands of millions of people along my journey before I reach a point where I'm like, oh, I got so much money that I'm cool with it. Now, that's a relative number, because I might have the money I have right now. Some people might say they're cool with it.
But is it a number in your mind where you're like, this is my ceiling, I'm gonna tap out after this?
You can't put a number on it because of inflation.
I mean, like Elon Musk, you can say I want Elon Musk money today, and that'll be sufficient for at least generations to come.
Well, of course, Elon money would be sufficient, but at that point, I mean, Elon's money is past the point where it's not even a tangible thing.
It's
really
crazy.
It's just more of a figure, right? Because he couldn't even put his hands on that much physical cash if he needed to, right? So again, exist. Yeah, right. It doesn't exist. So again, money is about flexibility, choices, and options, right? And the resources that you get from that. So Elon can literally do anything on planet Earth that he wants to, because his resources are unlimited, right?
I don't know if he can do anything.
Yeah. I'll put it like this. He's so bored with planet Earth. He has so much money. He got too much money for planet Earth. Now he's trying to recreate life on Mars or on other planets in outer space. Like, that's what he's working on right now. Like, think about how far in front of other people's mindset you have to be thinking about how to create life in outer space, because you're like, Earth, we've maxed that out. I need more room. Let's take this to outer space.
I'm trying to say this delicately, but if I felt as though my family only had 2 more generations and I was really rich, I'd spend every moment I could to see how to extend my family's existence vis-a-vis Mars. Because I think the family is on the clock. And not to mention that the family has been an abhorrent neighbor to everyone that we've encountered over our lineage. So, I don't want the family to be around where there's 12 of us and then 60 million of everybody else.
Right.
So, yeah, they got to get the fuck up out of here. They need to exit strategy, bro. Like, I'm just saying. Okay, so what is it about Detroit financially that you just absolutely love? And you know what? Let me backtrack on that. You can take the financially out of it. What is it about Detroit that makes it Detroit for you?
Man, Detroit really has a pride that I've never seen or heard anywhere else. Like, you could be in any part of America or even other side of the world and mention Detroit, and if you come across somebody who's from Detroit, it's like, oh, instantly you are family.
Man, listen.
Right? Like people go so hard for the city, whether they're still here or not. It's like something you can never take out of you.
Like I've been living in Cleveland for a couple of decades now, but when I hear somebody say, "What up, though?"
Yeah,
and I hear it the way it's supposed to be said,
right?
Hey, well, I'm from 7 Mile, bro. Where you from?
100%.
And instantly, east or west.
Yeah,
we got a whole conversation and a vibe going.
Yeah,
like it is.
We got to check the streets, the high schools, like, you know what I'm saying? You got to do a background check.
Yeah. It's like prison. We need your paperwork, bro.
Seriously.
So, and you say you grew up in Berkeley?
No, absolutely not. So the elementary and middle school I went to was located in Berkeley.
Where the hell is Berkeley at?
right outside of Oak Park.
Really? I never heard of Berkeley.
Yeah, it's like 11 Mile and Coolidge.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, so if you ride up Coolidge, between 11 and 12 Mile, that's Berkeley. Maybe between Greenfield and Coolidge, and between 11 and 12. It might be a little bit bigger than that, but not much.
God damn. It's like 3 blocks and shit.
It's small.
Okay, so where were you at in Detroit?
7 Mile in Wyoming.
Oh, yo. So that's, what is that? Sherwood Forest?
No, but it's not far from Sherwood Forest. Sherwood Forest is on the other side of Livernois. But yeah, I was closer to Wyoming.
Yo, that's the part I loved about Detroit right there. Is that there's a Sherwood Forest and then there's the projects.
No, right across the street. You could throw a rock.
And there's black people on both sides though.
Yeah, all day.
That is the part that, like, you try to explain to people, like, the difference in Detroit is that the rich people that are black stay in Detroit by and large, and the poor people that are black stay in Detroit by and large.
They're across the street.
What are we doing wrong as a community? That you, like, if you got, I don't know, Malcolm X powers and you just control a big chunk of black folks, how do we fix ourselves to get back to Black Wall Street type days?
That's a crazy question.
Is it possible?
I'll never say never.
Mm-hmm.
But what I can tell you, my thought process is, and where I want a lot of my energy to go in years to come, is in the youth.
Okay.
Because I think your mindset and your thought process and how it's developed throughout your high school years in particular are really pivotal to what you end up doing in your 20s and 30s. And so what I know from working with clients that are as old as 80 something to doing financial literacy programming with 6th graders is that the younger folks are a lot more impressionable because they haven't developed as many bad financial habits yet. Yeah. If any, they might not have any habits at all, right? Because they may have never worked a job. They don't have bills. They don't know what it means to support a household financially. Once you get 3 to 5 years into making money, paying bills, and developing your own habits as an adult, you cannot course correct good behavior by being coached into it from someone like myself. You got to just make that decision on your own. And very few people will look themselves in the mirror and make that decision on their own. So if we can focus on developing the mindset of the youth, I think that's our best bet when it comes to transforming everything. And it's not just about money. It's about physical and mental health too, right? Because it does no good for me to pour into a 10th grader and teach him everything he needs to know so he's dangerous financially by the time he is 25, because he knows how to invest in the stock market. He has a will and a trust. He has his insurance in place. He's doing all the right things, home ownership, etc. But he's borderline diabetic and might not live long enough because he's been eating trash since he was 2, right? So I think, again, it's bigger than just money. It's mental health, it's physical health. But if all those things can be poured into our youth, I think that's our best bet. Because, again, trying to course correct a grown-up who's 35 plus with all these habits, it gets really difficult at that age.
I think at some point we have to be intentional about community building. And that, like, say I win the Mega Millions for $1 billion. What I see is, like, I grew up on 7 Mile in Southfield. What I see is my old elementary school is no longer in existence, but I see that as like a foundation for that community to build it from the inside out. And I see, like, I'll build 100 houses. Every house is completely electrical. We got solar panels, the whole thing. But I'm giving people a place to live for $500 a month. And if you stay there for 10 years, you can have a house. But my choices of who I give it to are based on your ability to contribute to the community. I need X amount of teachers. I need a doctor. I need a lawyer. I need, and I'm not trying to be elitist, but I also need, a handyman. I need somebody who wants to cut the grass. All aspects of us, but you get chosen for it.
Right.
But there's a downside to that because there are people that aren't chosen. And I don't know how to rectify that.
I think everybody has their place. It's just whether or not you were in the right situation to discover what that is before it was too late.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part that's like, I don't know how we fix or solve that, right? Because there might be a kid right now who got in legal trouble and he can't be a productive contributing member to our community, but he was supposed to be the best electrician in the city. He was supposed to lead a law firm for social justice and stand up for us, right? But he just didn't get enough time, flexibility, resources to get there.
Damn. Yeah. And I think we all know those kids too.
Yep.
Okay, so the networking events.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching in that interview. Actually, I don't know if it was one. Anyway, you were talking about expanding it to different cities. Have you started that process yet?
We got some stuff in the works. We haven't yet held one in another city, but we have some really good motion and conversations in the works.
Because I'm thinking like Detroit can be the mecca for that shit, and you can have like all those cities come to the city.
That too. It's got to be in the summer. Nobody wants to come here right now.
Yeah, this is ass.
But, yeah. I mean, we've already had people. We've had people from Canada come over.
Really?
Yeah. We've had people from Canada. We've had people fly in from Dallas, Atlanta, California. Most of them are like Detroit natives or have ties to Detroit. But yeah, we've had people fly in from around the country for that experience for sure. We've had people drive up from Toledo. And yeah, I mean, I was at an event and these two guys said they came down from Toronto, and I'm like, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
But that's money right there too.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people with money in Detroit. It's a very untapped market.
Right.
Have you considered like doing like profession specific ones? Like say the medical profession on Tuesdays.
Mm-hmm. So not necessarily a whole event just for a specific industry, but a theme.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I've actually been floating this around. Definitely want to do like a real estate theme. For two reasons. One, a lot of people want to be homeowners or they are homeowners, but they're trying to figure out what can I do with my equity, or if I wanted to sell this and do something else, or I want to invest in rental properties and become a landlord. And two, we've got a lot of love. Shout out to all my real estate professionals. We've gotten a lot of love from the folks in mortgages, right? Whether they're brokers or loan originators, but also, real estate agents. So they've been a big contributor to supporting the Networking Tonight movement. So I think it would be a wonderful thing to do like a real estate themed event. We also get a lot of traction from like cosmetologists, right? The ladies in the beauty professions, the nail techs, the estheticians, the girls who do hair and makeup. There's a number of different industries all across the board, but never thought about like isolating an event just for each industry, but maybe having a theme where we do something particular or special for people in said industries that show up in large numbers.
I never even considered it until today because like I live in Cleveland now, and Cleveland is a hospital city. So like that's why I brought up the medical profession. Like here, that would be a huge thing.
Right. No, that makes sense for sure. I know there's an organization called Black Health Connect, and they do installments around the country, but it's for Black medical professionals, and their turnout and their support is immaculate.
I didn't know that. You got to hit me up with that, man. You got to DM me that information because I would absolutely be interested in some shit like that. Who do you feel like as far as your personal benefit from networking, outside of the people that you've met? When you go home and you sit down, what do you feel is the biggest accomplishment?
with our networking events.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest accomplishment has been two things. One is the consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Having enough support and love to where we can keep going, and not only keep going but keep growing at that. But secondly, I'm impressed with the range of experience and age of our attendees. I have not been in any other room in Detroit where you can have people in 15 different professions from 65 years old to 25 years old.
Yo,
all having a blast in the same room. I haven't seen that.
that's pretty fucking dope, though, bro.
I think that is one of the most incredible things, because literally there are people who, like, their parents is like, hey, you're old enough to be my parent, and we're sitting here, we're connecting, we're vibing, and they're learning from each other, right? And they might be in two totally different industries, like I said. And I think something special about our rooms is, for whatever reason, the energy of like gatekeeping doesn't exist.
That part.
Right? Like the older folks don't come in and say, oh, this little young cat, I'm not messing with them. No, they're happy to pour in. And the young people don't say, oh, this old skeezer over here. They're like, oh, let me tap in with this person who might have some wise game to give me, right? And I watch these interactions. So I think that's one of the most incredible things.
Although I will say, I think this may be the first generation where the younger generation has as much or more to teach the older generation. And for the older generation to remain relevant, especially in certain industries, you have to. Your biggest decision is choosing the best young people.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that, this country has never really experienced that. It was pretty much a nepotism situation, and you got to earn your stripes, blase splee, and we run shit. Now I can start a company from my phone, literally, and I don't need old people to do it.
Right.
And I am old people. So, but I see it, like at work, we get a new program, a new system or something, and I'm fucking stuck.
Right.
And it's some 20-year-old that don't know how to pay their light bill, but can teach me the whole fucking program.
Right. Literally.
Go, is there, if people want to get in touch with you, how they go about doing that?
Yeah, Instagram is the best way to reach me. And it's just my government name, Clift Roach. So that's CLIFT ROACH.
You're doing the modeling thing too?
Man, I got my hands in quite a few things. Yeah.
Is it? Are you single?
Hey, man, we talked about not airing out too much.
No, I don't, because I had to ask, because I didn't want to get go down to because the modeling shit has got to be it's got to be a comfortable situation.
I just decided maybe 2 months ago that I wanted to get into modeling, and overnight it seemed like opportunities that are life changing just fell into my lap right away. So I'm not experienced. I've had no professional training. I've had people in my corner who are in that industry tell me like, you tall, slim, and dark skinned, like they're gonna love it. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And I used to be camera shy, but I've gotten over that over the years. And I literally just said, I'm gonna start modeling, and then opportunities just fell in my lap. I didn't go looking for them, but it's been great, man. It's been super exciting. But I haven't been in it long enough to where I'm like, all these crazy things are happening. It's only been maybe 2 months maximum, but it's been fun.
Yeah, I bet it has. Ain't nobody ever asked me to take no pictures for shit. I was just a short, fat dude.
Hey man, with AI, you could be 6'2", 185 with a little bit of AI. So,
oh man, I am not about to be trolling these people like that. Like, bro, that is too much. What do they call these niggas to get their legs broke to be taller?
No, man, I don't know, but I've never had that problem. So,
well, I'm 5'5.5", so I've always been short. But I'm not doing that shit, because now you got long ass legs and little baby arms. You look like a T-Rex. Like fucking stupid. The biggest mistake that you see single mothers make as far as their finances.
Crazy enough, my best clients ever have been single moms.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that is?
Oh, I know exactly why it is. Well, this is my theory. Because they don't have a partner to rely on, but they have a child to do right for, they're willing to make the sacrifices they need to prioritize their child's future, which starts with them getting their stuff in order. And believe it or not, this is controversial, but I'll go there because I think it needs to be heard. And I've said it once before on camera, so I can say it a second time. In my experience working with single mothers versus women who are married and have children, is that the women who are single with children end up making better financial decisions than the women that are married with children, because for whatever reason, men can get in the way of a woman making financial decisions that are good for their best interest by just being stubborn, by just being a man. Because if you present a great opportunity to a man, he's going to ask you what? How much do it cost? Right? And if he don't like that number, he's just not going to do it. But if you present a good opportunity to a woman, she might say, well, what benefits do I get out of this? How often can I use it? Right? And what else can I get from it? And if you satisfy those things, they don't get hung up on the number. They make the progress. But when men come in the picture, they get hung up on, well, if I spend X on that, then that means I can't spend it on that. And then they don't make the investment that they may need to make to get to the next level. So I've met with married women who have children who are on board with proper planning. And then she says, let me talk to my husband. That's the last thing any financial advisor wants to hear. Let me talk to my husband, because that automatically means no.
I think it may go back to the hunter-gatherer. In that, it's some dude telling my wife what to do with my money.
I think that's part of the problem.
That is absolutely part of the problem.
Because
if you were Halle Berry, bruh,
yeah,
niggas 100%. Would be all in.
100%.
And the problem will be the women saying, we can't listen to this bitch because whatever the problem, whatever it is, we can't listen to her. You know, she ain't gonna say because she's too pretty, but she gonna like, nah, I don't like her attitude or whatever. We all got our hangups.
Yeah, it's the ego. So many men are not willing to be coached by another man.
No.
And don't let them be older than me. Like, I was 24 when I got in the game.
But I don't want to be coached by another man through my woman.
That either. Or if he's younger than you. Like both are bad.
If I come out and choose you, then that's me. That's my decision, and I'm listening. If my wife comes home and says, I chose this nigga, what the fuck are you choosing the nigga for?
100%.
You know,
and so again, the icing on the cake is if you're 55 years old and your wife is your age and she comes home and says, I chose a 25-year-old man to tell us what to do with our money.
Yeah, y'all fucking.
It's like, well, I got socks older than you, little boy.
Oh, y'all fucking, bro.
And then now you retire with no money because you didn't want to listen to the little boy.
You know how the level of fucked up you'd have to look like? Like you'd have to be like a midget that weighed 512 pounds with pimples.
No, for real.
Yeah, and what's just sad is that at the end of the day, we will egotize our way out of our own best interest in a plethora of ways. Is there anything that I didn't ask you or we didn't discuss that you feel like you need to tell people before we get off?
Absolutely. I think back to the networking event piece, a lot of folks know that we do at least one event per month.
Okay.
There's actually 2 events that we do every single month. The other one is smaller on purpose. So the events that are popular, they typically take place the last Friday of every month. Those are the ones where it's been 200 plus people for over a year now, every single month. We added a new event series in October called The Wind Down. And that normally takes place the first Wednesday of every month. And so we only allow 50 seats in the wind down. And that one is a lot more intimate and intentional on purpose.
Okay.
And it's designed to curate conversation around whatever topic I choose for that month. So in February, we acknowledge Black history. In December, we did a panel for stock market investing in real estate, right? So whatever I see fit, given the time, we'll have programming that's specific to that. But there's a lot of intentional activities to get people talking and to get them out of their shell, and to really be not the standard orthodox experience of a networking event, right? So it's definitely not like anything people have been to before, but that's a second reoccurring monthly event that we do. But even bigger than that, even more importantly, is we have a community-based platform, right? So people are able to subscribe as members on a monthly basis, and with their membership fees, they get free entry to both of those events every month, plus a ton of other perks. So we do virtual meet and greets because everybody can't make it out physically to events all the time. So we get on Zoom as a collective to have a virtual meet and greet where people can share what it is that they are working on and what they may need help with, but they also share what resources and value they can add to other people. And so we get together virtually and just exchange, right? And then if people send one-off messages, connect, do what they need to do from there, great. But we facilitate a hub for that virtually, in addition to what we do at our events in person. But also, I teach a stock market investing masterclass virtually for our community, right? And for the community members, it's completely free of charge. So information that I might charge a client a couple $1,000s for in a one-on-one session, some of my members are getting for free by attending these virtual masterclasses, right? And so the community-based platform, again, like I said, they get free entry to the events, they get workshops, masterclasses, they get discounted access to a ton of other programs that happen in the city. And we have a calendar of events that are going on that other people are hosting, so that people are always in the know of the great places to be and the great programs and organizations to support in the city outside of just networking at night. Because we're not the only people doing dope stuff. There's a lot of amazing things going on in the city, and I want to highlight all of that. So our community platform is a central hub to organize things for people so they can come get all the resources they need, but it's also to spotlight what other people are doing as well. So I think that platform, where we're at just at about 100 members now, is what's most important. So people look on Instagram and you just see events, but it's deeper than that, because we have a group of people who are committed to really connecting on a deeper level and maximizing those opportunities and the value of who is in the room.
Shit, I'm trying to, I'm every other week. I'm off Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Okay.
Yo, trying to come up there for one of the Wednesday joints, bro.
For sure.
You know,
For sure.
I can put my little pinky finger up and discuss some fancy shit.
Absolutely. It'll be a good time, man. That's a fact.
Yo, and I don't know if there's anything I can possibly do for you, man, but if there is, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or Rita, and we got you. Yo, this has been a dope ass conversation, bro. I truly appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And I'm sorry if it's been a little too different. I'm just a unique nigga, man. It's just gonna be different with me, bro.
No, I appreciate it, man. It's been fun.
Yo, no doubt, man. You have a phenomenal evening on purpose, bro.
Thanks, boss. You too.
No, thank you for coming by, man. Have a good one.
All right, man. God bless.
Peace.